So let's talk about stream presence. It can be hard to just like try and talk to yourself and be like entertaining or whatever, however you're gonna, however
Yeah.
we're gonna describe it. The big thing for me is, um, well, I'll tell you the stuff that I've gone over with people, like in my one-on-one meetings. Um, the common thing that I see is that there's like an attachment from the streamer to like they have like this emotional thing to chat. Like they feel like a need for chat to be active
Yes.
in order to have to feed that energy, that on
Yeah.
stream energy. And when chat's not moving, it like messes with their head and it makes them
Yeah.
shut down. Go ahead.
Uh,
It
I mean,
was like it's sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
It's
no,
like
it's
'cause
fine. We cut each
they're
other
they're
off. That's what we do here.
they're- like well we're all like thinking of like those really big streamers that have a chat that's just like memes going. They can just be like, hey chat, spam Pepe Frog if this, spam this if that,
Right.
and they just like expect this flood of things, and it's really not like that. And you can't expect it to be like that when you're just growing. So you have to be able to be okay with the dead chat, and also like if you're relying on chat for interaction, when you get to that super big stage, you're not going to be good anyways because you can't interact with chat in the same way you can interact with the chat now.
This is one of the points that I always hit. So let me transition into that. That was going to actually segue that direction. So
I was actually gonna comment on that as well, and that's that I'm not actually invested in chat at all, except when someone's chatting. Awesome, I'll have a conversation with them. But for me, it's I don't know what to talk about because when I'm
Yeah.
playing the JRPG, it's so repetitive.
right. So
that-
you need topics. Okay. So let me say this first thing. Here's the perspective shift that has helped most people when I talk to them about this issue. Number one, you don't need chat. Chat needs
Exactly.
you. It's you are not somebody as a streamer. You don't need chat. Chat needs you. And so you have to bring yourself to the stream first, and let the chat be whatever it is, dead, alive, something you engage with. There's all these levels on streaming, right? And it's funny because if let's say you have a 10 viewer stream and you can interact with chat like crazy, and you're talking with people and you're having all these conversations, you're actually creating bad habits for the 1,000 viewer stream.
Yeah.
Because that stream cannot happen with 1,000 viewers where the chat is flying by. So if you want a stream where you're going to have 10 people that you're having a conversation with and you're talking about stuff, that's not going to happen when you're big. That's going to be much more difficult to deal with. And you're not really preparing. It's actually funny because, and this is what you guys were saying, when you have a dead chat and like very little viewership, that is the chance for you to practice what it's like to be on stream when you can't interact with chat and it's just going by like crazy.
Yeah.
So you need to. It's really about this perspective shift where you have. You can't. You shouldn't, as a streamer, rely on chat. You don't need chat. Chat needs you, and that's true at every level of streaming. When it's dead, when it's alive, and the other thing is chat's a good indicator that people are there and they're watching and they're interacting, but when you're trying to grow a stream at every level, there's actually these spaces where nobody's talking or there is no interactivity, but that doesn't mean no one is watching. In fact, there's probably always new people rotating in and clicking on your stream. If you're in the right game category, you've got good position in that category, you're visible, you've got a good title, your thumbnail looks good, you're going to get clicks, right? So if the point of your stream is to be discovered, and you've got some level of discoverability, even though people said that's impossible, it's not. now you have to remember that there's new people that will chat with you and will like your stream and will want to follow and be a part of what's going on. But that's not going to happen if you're waiting for them. You can't wait for them. They need you to be there. And there's a balance between like the this is what people say is like, as a streamer you have to be on, right? You have to be entertaining or you have to be engaging.
You have to put on a show.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Like some streamers don't really need to put on a show. They just need to be present. If you're not present at your stream enough, then those new people clicking won't even take the time to chat, let alone follow and become a part of your community. So the other key aspect to this that I tell people is you don't want to address the void. So like this is actually a pretty key concept. I'll see a lot of streamers, they have their stream built around addressing no one because they think they're talking to that new viewer that's clicked on the stream. So they'll go the opposite direction. Instead of not talking enough and not being present enough on stream, they're actually talking to the void. There's no one, there's actually, even if it is a new viewer, they have no idea what the hell's going on. They don't know you're talking to them. So engaging with the void is actually dangerous too. So this is the opposite direction of not talking enough. You know, somebody hosts the stream and you've got this whole thing and it's like, it's just going nowhere. Nobody understands the context. So you also don't want to address the void. You want to be talking to the people that are there and the people that are your viewers, and you have to incorporate into that the knowledge that there's new people all the time. This isn't so. You don't want to address somebody that's not really there. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But
No, it makes sense. But you explained this to me one time, and it made it's awkward.
Yeah, it's awkward. It's awkward for your current viewers because you're not talking to them. You're talking to somebody in the void, and they're not real. It's not real.
It's cringe.
Yeah, it's
very
cringy.
so.
You know, one of the things that can help is like if you make YouTube videos, you get used to like talking to no one, but you're not talking to no one. You're talking to the video viewers, the people that will watch. And in the same way on stream, you can talk to people that are clicking on in the moment. And it, I hate to say it, but like, it's okay to have like a moment where things are dead. It's a live stream. It doesn't have to be perfect the whole time. You can have a moment where it's, nothing's going on. But the important point is to kind of not stay there. That's where the chat and the stream kind of dies, is because there's nothing engaging happening.
I've been meaning to like make a point of like writing down stories or topics or things to fill moments like that, because I don't prepare enough for those moments.
This is good. Yeah.
I can do really well when chat is engaging, but every so often, and sometimes I can just like pull stuff out like from my day or whatever, and like
Right.
I used to do like improv and comedy stuff, so I don't find it that difficult. But there's definitely moments where I'm just like sitting there, I'm like, I have nothing to talk about. I'm like, oh, this character's walking this way now. I'm getting wood from the tree now, and
Okay, so this goes to the topic of being a boring person.
yeah.
Finally, a topic about me.
Hi, Skelly. Thanks for joining us. I was waiting for you to chime
in. No problem. I'm here only to do good things and never bad things.
That just makes me think the opposite.
I both have apprehensiveness that you're here and love that you're here, because I know what you can bring to the table. So,
yeah, man. I mean, if there's something you want me to comment on, that's why I popped in. Just let me know.
Yeah.
I'm also working at the same time.
Yeah, it's fine.
So I'm kind of just like listening and waiting for
your
prompt,
moment.
to be honest. Yeah, a prompt.
It's coming. It's coming. Okay, so let's talk about being a boring person. I don't know that boring people can make streaming big. I just don't think it's possible. I don't think you're going to make streaming something that works for you if you're boring.
I think it's a whole, right? Like I know a lot of people really don't like her, but I've heard Ashen Christ talk about this, where like you need to have outside hot. I know people don't like her. I'm just gonna glaze over. She's where I got it.
We don't need to name drop if it's negative. Just
sorry. Okay.
yeah. But
But,
you're saying a positive thing anyway, so go ahead.
Yeah, she talked about how you need like hobbies outside of like just content creation, whether it be YouTube, TikTok, whatever. You need hobbies outside of it to be an interesting person, because otherwise you have no way to relate to like the normies.
Okay, so this is actually an important thing. You need to. This is humans connect over the things that they like, and if you don't like anything. I mean, then maybe you need to talk to somebody, like a professional or something, because that doesn't sound healthy.
I can talk to you. Hello.
Hi, Doc.
Hey, Doc.
Yeah, Doc and I have plenty of conversations. We've actually had conversations about this before.
It's hard to become interesting and be engaging. I'm still working on that, but I'm getting better. It takes practice.
There's my suggestion is always like, get on the internet and watch YouTube videos, things that interest you. You don't have to love everything, but the key actually is to be. There's two kinds of people you can be on stream, okay, and there's one of them is immediately disconnects from people, and it's that person is not going to benefit you to be that way. So what a lot of the conversations I have with people is like, one of the things you need to do is try to remove your biases as much as possible and be open-minded about life and about new experiences and things, because you're gonna have people come into the chat and they're gonna say, "Have you seen Attack on Titan?" And if you say, now you could feel this way, but as a streamer you want to connect with this person, and if you say, "I'm not a big anime fan," immediately that person is going to feel kind of uncomfortable and not connected with you. Like now you're like, you're creating this chasm, like, well, I do like anime. And then you end up with these conversations like, well, what anime have you seen? And it's like, well, I don't really watch anime. It's not my thing. And then, the person in the chat is always thinking, if you haven't tasted the pizza, how can you know if you like it?
Yeah.
It's like pineapples belong on pizza.
I
die immediately.
You need to be. If you don't like something, that's okay, but you don't want to be a person who doesn't like things from a place of complete ignorance and it's a guess. It's better to be like, hey, I haven't seen it. Is it good? Is it something I should watch? I don't really watch anime that much. Is that the one that's going to get me? You need to be a little bit open-minded about yourself.
Yeah.
You want to engage them and not shut them down.
Right.
Yeah.
It's another way to think about it.
And it's healthier. It's a healthier perspective to not hate things before you try them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just like overall life. Yeah.
You're gonna have a better time. You're gonna have a much better time in existing on a planet where there's so many things to try. Being open-minded about it.
I'm just a steak and potatoes kind of guy, though. You know.
Yeah, I don't like sushi. Well, what sushi have you tried? Well, I tried it once at a grocery store. I had California rolls.
That's the thing. That's raw fish, right? Ew.
Yeah, ew, raw fish. Yeah. There are lines, obviously.
It's just nasty, yo.
If you want to, you just have to be aware that if you're going to be the person that comes off as judgmental around topics that you haven't experienced yet personally, and you're not aware of your bias here, that you have this like thought, I don't really like X. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be anime, it could be sushi, it could be anything, but you haven't really done it yet. You haven't really tasted it yet. You haven't really tried it yet. You have to be aware of how that makes viewers feel, because viewers want to connect with you. They want you to like their favorite thing. That's what they want. They especially if it comes to like gaming and stuff like that. Most of us have pretty open minds about games. A new game's coming out, and we have a hope that it'll be good. We don't know that it'll be good.
Absolutely.
That's kind of the attitude you want to take towards most things in life. That you want to stay in that open perspective for yourself and realize, okay, I haven't done everything. I haven't tried everything. I do this with TV shows. I judge things based on what they are individually. I don't write off something because it's in a category. I may have never seen a musical that I think is the best. Actually, I've seen a couple musicals that I like, and I'm not a huge fan of musicals, and I could say that, but I've seen a ton of musicals. There's always going to be that thing, but I'm probably not. I wouldn't like on my stream if I have a new viewer come in and somebody's like, "Have you seen this musical?" I don't want. You don't want to automatically shut it down. You want to keep an open mind about things and try to connect with people over these things. And if you've not done it, you're better off saying, "I haven't done that. Should I check it out? Tell me why." Be open minded. I guess that's kind of like the best.
If I might interject on this one, one of the things that I like people to disagree with me because it gets them involved. And one of the things that I like to do is when I know I don't like something, if I know I have an opinion on it, and they have asked me about it, or if I know about it or what my opinion is on it, I lead with, well, let's go with that anime, right? I like Attack on Titan, but let's say I don't, right? Let's say I think it's hot garbage.
Mm-hmm.
So my first thing would be like, I really wasn't a huge fan of it, and it couldn't really capture me. But is it one of your favorites? And they'll answer usually.
That's different.
And then I'll say, okay, anime pill me on Attack on Titan. Why am I wrong?
Yeah, that's a great way to approach it, especially since you've already watched some of it and have an opinion on it. I'm going more from the perspective of literally have no context for a thing.
Oh, sure. So then let's change it to something else. Let's say,
something you have no interest in and haven't done yet.
Zero interest in. How do you feel about playing? I can't think of a game right now that I don't want to play, but let's just say I'm trying. Let's say I go somewhere and I say, "Hey, do you like Tarkov?" I know nobody but me likes that video game.
That's not true.
And so then they go in and they go, So they say, you like Escape from Tarkov, and my response is, looking at it, it does not look like my kind of game at all. I don't think I'll like it, and I go, but. Okay, you really like it. Explain to me why you like it. What's good about it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now I have no. The point is like I know I don't have any interest on it, and I know I'm probably not going to play it.
Mm-hmm.
But
you can still engage
really
with
like
the person. Yeah.
And so they're going to be happy to tell you all about it. It's to be honest with you, it's like dating.
Yeah.
You don't get the other person
yeah,
to talk
that's
about
true.
themselves. Get them to start talking about something they like. Don't just say, "Tell me about yourself." Say, "So, like, what's your favorite? What's your favorite thing?" Try to eke out what's something that they're going to talk about, and then let them talk about it and be interested the whole time, and they will love you for that.
Yeah, and maybe
You don't even
you'll
have to
start
express
liking
an
the
opinion.
thing.
You just let them go on about it, and they're subconsciously going to have a great experience
Mm-hmm.
because
People
you
just
gave
love
them a chance to do
attention.
that.
That's true.
Right, and they like to feel heard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they,
really
exactly.
like
they
to
want to
feel
connect
heard.
with you
like to
over
feel
their favorite
important.
things.
I mean, they are important too, but they like to feel like you care about them personally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. You're basically like it's across like all social medias. You're looking for engagement of some way. You want them attached to you, and you got to figure out a way to do that. And the easiest way to do that is to get them talking, which we can actually do through live streaming a lot more powerfully than any other platform.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
This is a business
So,
of
like, yeah.
people.
That's why I like Twitch. I've started thinking about Twitch in a way of like if you can grab people from all the other social medias and get them to come to your Twitch, you can then use that Twitch to engage with them personally, and then you really have them hooked in after that.
Yeah, everything we're doing is all about meeting people. It's all about the relationships that you're fostering. You can become close with people through the internet. It is possible, especially if they're someone you talk to often and you get along with, and you don't, the more open-minded you are as a streamer, the less friction you're going to create. with meeting new people, and I think that's incredibly important in this industry.
My
Yeah, you
family's
just wanna-
waiting,
so-
so I'll have to go.
It's all right, Doc. You don't have to
Bye,
tell us. You can
everyone.
just bail, and then we'll
Fair enough.
understand. So the biggest thing with so let's talk about something you brought up a little bit ago. Elijah and RedBeard both. Well, one of you had the question, the other one had the answer. You brought up not being able to have enough topics, or you don't know what to talk about, and so I find this to be a pretty common thing as well. As this is where I'm saying you don't need chat.
Imagine being able to shut up. Never mind.
If you feel like you need chat to have a conversation with chat, that's where the energy flow is completely out of balance and wrong. Chat needs you, so you want to be a little bit more prepared, and the best way to do that is not being a boring person outside of stream, or using your stream time to be less boring too. Watch new things. This is the hardest thing for people to do. We get into these habits where we just want to do the thing we always do, like play League of Legends or play our favorite game and then eat our favorite meal.
Don't call me out like that.
I was just about to say it's like, oh god, he's seen my league, he saw my OPGG.
I've had my hi Ober. I've had my own addictions with League of Legends, so I understand.
I feel sorry
Is
for
this-
each and every one of you.
Is this a League of Legends AA meeting now?
I was gonna bring up Asmongold actually. So Asmongold actually talks about this a lot on his YouTube videos, at least, and on his stream, that he comes prepared. He's got a list.
Yep.
He writes down a bunch of stuff that he thinks he wants to talk about. But the thing is, those don't come from nowhere. He's looking on Reddit. He's watching YouTube videos. He's hanging out with other people. He's watching TV shows. I mean, I could probably spend 3 hours a week right now talking about Korean television. That's like its own topic. And the only reason I could do that is because I've watched a ton of Korean television in the last few months. So go out there and find things.
You and me both, bro.
Find new things. There's great shows on Netflix, Korean shows, anime. You can watch popular things. You can watch things that you know people haven't seen. Really, like Korean television in America. Like how many people in chat have seen the Uncanny Counter on Netflix? Just there you go. There's a rabbit trail for you to start on.
See, this is an unfair expectation of me having any free time.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Well,
Netflix.
that was the other thing I'd like
Yeah.
to bring up with that is time management.
I know.
'Cause that's like, yeah.
I
Just how
don't
do you-
know a
how
lot
do
of
you
people that
balance
don't
the-
make time to watch shows though. So
I don't.
I do, but I consciously do. Like, if I didn't actually set aside that time every night, I'd just be working on more stuff or just playing a game. I'd be playing Sea of Thieves or something.
So maybe this is what I mean. Instead of swapping in your time for, swap out like an hour of your time playing League of Legends. Instead of playing League of Legends for 3 hours in Discord, watch a TV show with people in Discord.
I will admit, I think this advice is very good. And Sunny knows.
But you're
this.
not a boring
I am-
person, Skelly. So you don't have.
Stop lying to me. Sunny knows for a fact that I very specifically have very little time for reasons. What little
But
time
you-
I have for my hobbies is.
You took
specific.
my advice. You didn't take my advice, but the advice I gave you're already implemented into your existence. I said use your stream to do it. You have the chatting streams where you watch YouTube videos and like react to things, and so that's you watching things you've never watched before.
Disgusting.
You're
That's
doing it.
easy. That's easy YouTube content too.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff is YouTube videos anyway, but
Yeah, but you can do reaction content.
yeah.
You can even steal half their hashtags then.
Like getting involved in a podcast around a thing like a genre or something, and then you usually have to be involved with that. If it's going to be like reviewing an anime or reviewing Korean television or whatever it is, you're going to have a podcast about a subject. You have to spend the time with the subject. So there's there's space
Well,
for you as a creator to do this stuff for sure.
on that topic, I've actually had 3 separate podcasts, and my issue with every single podcast that I've done is that it comes to a point to where scheduling fucking sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
But that's just kind of a side note. Let's stick to your stream. Why do you think you don't have content to talk about on stream?
Honestly, it's not that I don't have content to talk about on the stream. I've got stuff going constantly in my brain. It's just getting comfortable to the point to where I can free speak. You know?
Talk to yourself.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Go on a walk. Go walk a mile, and talk to yourself. talk out
I
loud.
do, but when I'm playing a game or something, I get really invested in the game, and like I stop talking.
This is actually a problem. I have this problem too, especially with art. You guys will find this out when we start the Sunday IQ art streams. I have a major problem
right now. I have a hard time shutting up and letting other people talk because I'm around other people. I can 100% fill up any gap. And every podcast I did had great numbers comparatively for my other streams.
Maybe you need to shift your content for your stream more towards that kind of content, and then play games as you grow later.
Scheduling is a bitch.
Do the podcast by yourself.
Yep.
Ask people in IQ. I've never seen you ask people in IQ to start a podcast with you. There's hundreds of people in here.
That's true. I don't see a lot
It's
of collaboration happening.
There are people.
IQ.
There's just
True.
All you got to do is start asking people. I swear.
I have very
that's
low
it.
rates for talking.
Listen, man, just steal your League of Legends partners and force them to show up every Monday to play co-op games.
Okay,
with you.
this is a good. Let's
Okay,
talk about
fuck
Skelly.
League of
Actually,
Legends. Fuck League of Legends.
hold on. Let's talk to Skelly about this. He's got content that's actually nails this as well, right? You have a day of the week. Is it 1 or 2 where you have conversations with people and you're playing games at the same time?
That's Mondays. That's just Mondays.
Right. So Mondays.
Yeah.
That's your Monday stream. So you're already doing it as well.
Yeah, where I kidnap Rope and Silver and force them to play video games.
Right. But the actual point of Mondays is the conversations you're having. The game is
Yeah.
kind of like an appendage, right?
Yeah, exactly. It is. Yeah, it's usually the interaction. The real point of it is that the people involved, we've added Ms. to it because she's really good with our dynamic. Is the dynamic between our group and emphasizing that through games. So oftentimes games will spawn a conversation about a topic. We used to pre-plan topics, but now we're a little bit more free-form, and we kind of like, we're playing a game, we make a lot of jokes, we interact with each other and chat about the game, which will inevitably lead to one of us having an opinion that sort of branches off into a conversation about that topic, and can even lead to disagreements where we'll discuss our different opinions on why we feel the way we feel about that thing, whether it's game development or the movie industry or whatever, which usually gets chat involved as well. People, because the conversation is never hostile, so people don't feel particularly they don't have an issue with stepping in and expressing their own opinions on the topic. And I think it can be very, very engaging, and it's also very, very fulfilling. Maybe other people don't experience this, but as someone who works full-time, does the streaming 4 days a week, and then is also working on other projects, I find myself very isolated. And so having the opportunity to engage with other people on these topics, it's very satisfying. I really enjoy it personally, and it really engages my brain.
Right. So it like kind of hits the other topic we were talking about, being boring. It makes you less boring because you've got all these conversations and people with interests going through your weekly experience, especially connected directly to your content.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how I would suggest, like, let's talk about execution. You want to get a notebook, and just start jotting down. You don't have to do this forever, but start with a list of things, so that you have. If you don't know what to talk about in the moment, grab the list and you start talking about it. Oh, Man, this last week I was watching this show called Penthouse on this website called Viki, and it's crazy. It's the craziest show I've ever seen. Like, you have you have a basket of topics you can reach into that you have opinions about, and that's really all that's important right there. So, start with the list.
Yeah, because I mean, I've got a whole lot of stuff that I can talk about. Everything from anime to new horror movies.
Somebody will
fantasy,
engage.
Culture.
Somebody will engage with you from chat on these topics too, and they can help you set the tone, and you can bounce off that. But you want to set the stage for these things. Like, you don't need chat. Chat needs you. That's that whole
Absolutely.
concept.
If you can get good at just like being present throughout life too, there's even like just boring things that happen to everyone throughout every day that you can turn into like stories you can tell on stream. Even if it's like some guy was wearing a weird hat on the bus and like, why was he wearing that weird hat? Everyone was looking at him, was trading looks with random strangers. You can even do stuff like that. Even like, life is literally limitless for this once you start seeing them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And that would also require me to leave my house. I'm a hermit.
I feel you, but I'm not that boring of a person, and I only go outside to shop. That's it. Oh, and walk, but that doesn't count. That just walking doesn't count. You know, what am I going to talk about? The sunset?
Whenever you think about this stuff, you know, I know a number of people who have said to me, I don't know what to talk about. I don't like anything. I'm boring. And I go, that's not true. You have tons of opinions, and you have tons of things that you know. You have an entire lifetime of experiences. Just think about it for a moment, and I guarantee that you have something you want to talk about, and you could go on and on about. Remember that dating thing? I'll bet you money someone did that to you at one point, whether they were being your friend or whatever. They didn't know what to say, so they got you to say it, and then you ended up ranting for an hour while they would just listen. You know, you have that. You have that knowledge, and it's about being ready to draw it out at any given time. And this is true in any environment. Okay, this is advice that I would give to a colleague professionally, ignoring streaming, is always be ready with something related to something, and you will find that any subject is related to any other subject when you're engaging with someone. I did it earlier today. I'm teaching an instructor how to use this platform, and what do he starts talking about something, and then I go, oh, well, that's kind of like this. And we end up talking, we're completely different people. He speaks 4 languages and is about to teach a course in French. And I'm a guy who likes to play video games a lot. And you know what? At the end of it, we were 100% sure that we were like the same guy. Like that, it's the charisma of interacting with people is not something innately born into you. It's not magical, and you didn't. And you probably have it, you just don't realize it. You just have to imagine in your life that anything you like or do is related to something else, and just have that confidence to talk about it and say what it is.
Imagine you're not a boring person. Let's start there.
Well, actually,
I was going to say it comes from confidence a lot. Like when people are just like, I'm boring, I have nothing to talk about. It's like they don't like... They're actually just saying like, I don't think highly of myself.
Yeah, that's true. that's exactly what's happening. A lot, and you know, this is why I tell people to get outside and go for a walk and like get out of your own head. Like, do something to make yourself feel better, so that you have that better feeling version of you to bring to the stream. If you bring like the version of you that feels down on yourself to the stream, what is that? How is that gonna? You're just gonna engage with a bunch of other depressed people, and just all gonna be like, we hate each other and we hate ourselves.
Just be an echo chamber of toxicity.
And here's the thing: you may not have confidence, right? But that doesn't mean you shouldn't behave as if you do. As stupid as it sounds, 90% of, and it's not just fake it till you make it. It's literally just like, you can sit there internally and say, I think I'm boring. I don't think I'm exciting. But don't behave like that's true.
There are so many people on the planet. You're not boring to someone.
Absolutely.
There's just too many people on the planet. You can't. It's just not going to be true.
Honestly, for me, I need to not let myself get sucked into the video game to where I stop talking.
Yeah, the
really
draw.
my big thing.
This is one of the things I tell people is they need to slow down on stream and not rush through the game, not rush through the game UI, not.
Oh, sweetie, I'm a completionist. I don't rush.
Just well, take a breath. Take a breath. Talk about what you're
definitely-
doing.
yeah.
Talk about your day. Tell people you're excited about stuff. It's okay. Here's another thing. It's okay to repeat yourself a bunch of times on stream. If you want to tell people that, you've got a new YouTube video. Like I have a new YouTube video on the IQ channel about camera settings. Go check it out. If you want to tell people about that stuff, go tell people, and tell people again, and tell people again. Every 25 minutes, every 30 minutes. Tell people. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and I mean, to be honest with you, I tend to err on the side of humbleness, both for humor's sake and also because I think it's the right way to behave. But I actually feel quite confident in my ability to talk while I'm playing games, and a lot of it comes from as dumb as it sounds, I just react to everything that happens. Right? I just have some asinine comment to make about anything I do or anything in the game. Doesn't matter if I kill some guy, get killed by some guy, get hit, walk past something. Sometimes I'll just, I'm playing Demon Souls. I walk past a corpse and I go, "Hey, buddy, just hanging out." Like, it's more about just constantly getting into the habit of just saying whatever comes to mind for anything you see. And the more you do it, the easier it gets until it's just really easy. And you don't have a problem just comment. And that doesn't mean sometimes you don't act quiet. I get focused. Demon Souls, not an easy Souls game. Bosses are hard, right? But in those tense moments, nobody's upset that you're quiet, because then you let out you die, you let out a big frustration. Oh man. Or you succeed and you go, "Woo, we rock, gamer." They're waiting for that, right? They're waiting for that too. Intense moments can be intense. Just, maybe don't get intense while walking across the bridge of corpses where nothing's attacking you. Maybe that's a good time to ask the corpse how its day was.
Yep. Give the corpse a name if you're walking by it a bunch of times. "Hey, Bill, how's the wife?"
100%. "Hey, Bill, how's the wife?" 100%. Absolutely do I agree with that.
It's funny that you say the humble thing, because I do like the exact opposite, where I just like overplay my confidence to the point where I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm the best guy around no matter what." And I do the same thing for humor's sake, but just the other extreme.
Oh, I mean, well, what I should say is I do that too when I'm live. I don't do that in private conversations.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah.
So that's what I meant behind, because this is a serious conversation. I'm not doing this to be entertaining.
This is a good way. This is a good thing for us to kind of like segue into. I want to there's two kinds of streamers. People who don't mind putting on like the entertainment hat and the show and being the streamer, and people who I just want to be me and stream. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, what would you say to people who say, I want my stream to be big. I want to be a successful streamer, but I don't want to be entertaining. I just want to be me and play video games.
Become very, very good at a video game.
Yeah, that's what I'd say.
Become a pro.
It's time. It's
speed run.
Masters, bro. Hit Masters. Like you want your stream to have 5,000 viewers while you're playing, League of Legends or Valorant. Hit Masters, bro, and you'll have viewers every time.
Yeah, no, exactly. Hey, that's what I tried. Hey, I've wanted to be a streamer for 10 years. The first 9 of them, I tried to be masters at League of Legends. That didn't work, so now I'm doing the variety thing. So, but what I would say is, because like I
was choosing League of Legends.
Yeah, oh, I know. Oh, I'm aware.
Well, you've got all these people who are obviously going into Fortnite and Call of Duty and League of Legends, and they're just like, I'm just hanging out. I'm just being me.
Oh god, they frustrate the hell out of me. Every Warzone streamer, I just want to shake them and be like, "It can be better."
The thing that people don't realize is if you put "I'm Challenger" in your League of Legends title, people will show up even if you're starting with 0 viewers, because not many people have watch a Challenger play in their title, right? So you don't have to be entertaining, but if you are entertaining, if you're starting from 0, if you don't have that rank yet, then you're not gonna get anywhere just streaming streaming my first climb to platinum is not anything people want to watch. They don't want to watch you muddle around in bronze for 5 weeks, right?
Yeah. So the value is important. That's why I put together that weird graph with all the roles.
At the same time, if you can give commentary on almost anything, again, taking off my humble hat for a moment, I had 60 people watch me drink whiskey while just complaining about how big rich people houses are.
Yeah.
For 4 hours.
Yeah.
You know, and I had everyone compliment me on what a great stream it was. All I did was drink whiskey, not like classy whiskey, like, you know, it's freaking, what was it? Salted caramel whiskey, while just sitting there complaining that I'm 100% sure that Mark Zuckerberg just eats people who would know the property is too big, the bodies go missing, you'll never find them again. You know, like you can do almost anything if you can bring entertainment value in some way. You know, watching Pestily play Tarkov, he's so good at the game that he can go into the highest PvP, most Chad map with nothing but a pistol, kill 2 guys, take all their stuff, and leave. And he doesn't have to say or do anything, right? But at the same time, I'm not going to a streamer who's playing Tarkov is just like some guy who just sweats the game all the time, but is like average in skill. I need to know this guy's great. You know, I need to know that I'm gaining something. Otherwise, he's got to be really entertaining. And then I'm not really there for the game. You know?
And I'd even point out that like right now in Twitch, like in those games, like League or whatever other esport game, like the ones who are at the very top, they're really, really good and also really, really entertaining.
Absolutely,
like, they're actually doing both. And if you only have one or the other, you're going to be like 10,000 viewers below those guys. So like, why not just do that? Like, why not be entertaining?
Well, and I think, absolutely, yeah, I agree.
And I think you can do both. Like, I think like Sunny's that you're asking more like, are you gonna play like a character almost? But like, I think you can do like almost a character of yourself.
Yeah.
Where like you're just like an entertaining version of yourself.
This is okay. So there's you who's like at home making breakfast, waking up. What am I gonna do today? And then there's like your friends are coming over, and you're that version of you. You know. You kind of want to be like the version of you who brushed his teeth and like went and cleaned up your room and a little bit or something, at least, so that when your friends come over, you have a place to sit and hang out. And like if you're hosting something, if you're hosting a party, the party version of you is not like I just woke up, I'm just hanging out, I'm just like, oh, I want to be a streamer. That person, I don't know how the person who is like has no ability to like become the party version also wants to have this aspiration of being a big streamer. It's like, how do you have this ambition that's like incredible while at the same time you have no party you, right?
Yeah.
Party you. you need to have you need to have the version of you that's like entertaining your guests and hanging out. And if my friends come over, I don't act exactly the same way as I do, and I'm just like sitting watching YouTube videos and stuff. You want to feed off of other people's energies and give energy out, I guess. You know, laugh out loud, laugh bigger. Have a good time.
Yeah, but on I've been listening to The Yard, which is Ludwig's new podcast with like all his roommates and whatnot. They all make fun of him for his YouTube voice. That like every time he streams, he puts on his YouTube voice, and like that's exactly what it is. As soon as you go live, you're just like, "Hey everyone, welcome in, welcome back to the stream," and like you do that like showmanship.
You don't say that to your mom. You know? Hi,
Mom,
Mom. Welcome back to the house.
You got a Prime available, Mom. Smash that like button.
Wait, I'm not supposed to say that to my roommate?
Yeah. It's
I'm gonna admit, okay, listen, I do that to people. So like sometimes you guys know who Ordinary Sausage is, the YouTuber?
No,
I don't.
Okay, he does the like this kind of sausage, that kind of sausage.
Really,
it's always awful.
really hate Ordinary Sausage.
Okay, well, there's a thing he always says that I really like, and he goes, "Well, hey there, guys, it's me," and like I say that when stream starts, I also just say that when I walk into a room where my girlfriend or a roommate are. I'll just be like, well, hey there, guys, it's me. It bleeds. It bleeds over, man. It definitely bleeds over.
Yeah, well, if you're doing it on stream a lot, you're gonna bring it out to your real life too. There's gonna be crossover for sure.
I literally almost wrote RedBeard in a work email today. I was so close.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I also feel like we're kind of preaching to the choir a bit because the people who need this advice almost are not going to take it anyway. They're not going to listen to it anyway. They've convinced themselves that they're boring. They've convinced themselves that it's never going to work for them. But then they're still going to turn their stream on for like 40 hours all week and be bummed that nobody's watching. So
I think we've given some actionable stuff though, and I know there's probably people lurking from IQ who are like newer to streaming that don't. I think there's definitely value.
There is.
But like you're right, there are definitely lost causes that are doing like the 60-hour streams a week and like are never gonna.
They don't
like,
change anything. They change nothing. And 2
Like,
years later, they're using the same stupid microphone that sounds bad, and they've literally done nothing to improve at all. They're still playing League of Legends, and they're still bummed that nobody watches.
Yeah, like when I wanted to get good at streaming, I went out and watched like every YouTube video I could possibly find on the subject, like hours and hours. I've watched all of Devin Nash. Some of like the 4-hour videos I've watched 3 or 4 times. And they're just never going to get to do that because they're streaming like 12 hours a day and then going to sleep and doing it again. And they'll never, ever improve.
Streaming is very addictive. I think that's the thing. Like, I noticed it immediately since I hadn't streamed for almost 2 years. And I turned on the IQ stream last week on Friday. And then immediately, like, within all weeks, I was like, oh, I can't wait till next Friday. Like, it's addicting. It is addicting. Even if no one's watching. It's like, it's almost like it's a gambling thing. It hits the same trigger because you're like, maybe someone will show up. It's like throwing the dice. You know, maybe this time I'll win.
Maybe today's the day I get the big raid. Raids are the worst for that. Like, I super appreciate them because, like...
Yeah, they hit the trigger a lot.
It means you've networked well, right? And, like, that
like
people
that
actually
dopamine,
like
yeah.
you. But like getting 100-person raid, it's just like, oh, fuck yeah, let's do it, boys.
All of a
It's
sudden,
like-
it feels like you're a streamer. You know, you made it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you turn on your stream next time, and you've only got the 10 to 15 viewers that you had before the raid.
Yeah, people don't respect the grind.
I've had success from raids, but not from the raids directly, but from the relationships with the streamer who raided me. Where I would go to their stream, hang out on their stream, play games with them. They would come to my stream, hang out with me. And some of these streamers were partnered and big. And they had 300 viewers, and I'm hanging out with them. And then they come and when they raid or host me, I don't even remember if raids were a thing back then. But I would be like, oh my goodness. And I did have crossover. There are people still in my community, in my Discord. That I made connections with, a couple of people, but when you get a host of 369 people and then you make a connection with one, that's usually what it's like. You find one person who will support you and like connect with you out of the 360 something viewers. So
that's what I realized about like raids and even like shout outs on streams. Like they don't matter. They really don't.
It's a politeness thing. It's
100%.
It's how we're weird in America. We're not very polite to each other in general. I on Twitch, I like the politeness thing a lot. I think it actually goes a long way to do the shout outs, to say thanks for be thankful and be nice to each other and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
If you can't, this is one of the things I used to say too, was if you can't be nice to your friends and polite to your friends, who's it for?
Yep.
Like what?
I would agree with you. I think that so it's sort of interesting. I've been watching it in multiple places, especially experimenting with myself. So first off, I absolutely agree with you. At the end of the day, it's just a politeness, and it's probably an important one. Because even if I know no one's gonna follow from a shout out or whatever, when someone does it, I immediately go, Oh, thank you. That is very kind of you. Just that you would consider me someone that you want to shout out, right?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's more of a sign that they like you, they know you, and they appreciate you. Especially if they go on to say a detail about you that shows that they've actually looked. That they actually know you. It's like, oh wow, that's very kind of you. However, that said, um, I have learned that there is something that a lot of people don't do that you can do to make a shout out really have value. And one of those is explaining to people why you really love that person. And it has worked for me to get my viewers to go check out someone who I think is underrated. So a good example would just be like my friend Miz, right? So she's a VTuber. She plays with us on Mondays. And she was probably half my size. But one of the things is that I'll always say, like, this is why you need to follow her. This is why she is fantastic and you'll love her. And people do it, right? People do it because I'm giving a heartfelt reason why I truly believe this person is worth your time.
Yeah,
it's not to
100
say that anyone has to do it, but I do know it does work if you can manage that. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, as the viewer, you can like tell the difference between those shoutouts. Like, it's like I try to do the same thing. Where like if I shout at someone who I really know well, I'm like, these are some things about them. This is the game they're playing. I was hanging out there the other day. All those things go like they lend like weight to your statement, because you can always tell also when you get like a raid from a random person or like a random streamer comes in who you feel like you should shout out but you don't know them really well, and you're like, hey, this person streams, go check them out, and that's all you say. You can really tell the difference in those shout out like quality levels, right? And like your community who knows you really well and hangs out there and watches your mannerisms, they'll know right away as well.
Yeah. So there is one thing. So I have to go deliver a large load of wood to a waiting recipient, but
it's a very
before I
skeleton
go-
man thing to say.
But I have one piece of I think it's probably the one thing I've learned. One piece of advice, one piece of information. It's the one thing that I've truly learned that really I kind of learned it on my own and it really did add value. And it is what I would consider to be the thing that when I actioned it was a turning point for me as a streamer, from being a 3 viewer Andy and they're all just my friends who are mods, and starting to make my way up to where I am now. And that is making the decision so let me say it this way. It's making the decision on the kind of audience you want. And as part of that, the kind of audience you could stand.
Yep.
You are a person with tolerance levels, and you have what you like and what you don't like. And I knew a group of people who were streamers, their whole community, and they were all very, very, very incestuous. It's just lots of streamers all together loving each other, and that's all they would do, right? And everything was, I love you, this cutesy language. And no offense to it, I'm not trying to be a hater, right? Like whatever. There's lots of different communities with different styles. Not everyone can just say inappropriate things all night like I do. But the thing is that I tried to fit into that environment. I tried to fit in with those people, and I hated it. I hated it because it wasn't who I was. And one day I said, you know what? These people, I'm never gonna become fit in like this. I'm gonna do what I want. And I started just being me with all the inappropriateness, all the things that I do and say that I say naturally. These are things that I don't think up these things that I say and do. It's what I do in real life. It's what I naturally feel comfortable with, my humor. And I knew what kind of audience I didn't want, right? And that audience was also the one that was the antithesis of my true behavior. And when I started focusing on what I did want, fostering the kinds of relationships, the kind of banter that I did want, it naturally helped me learn to continue to be to be the kind of entertainer that I wanted to be, and to garner the audience that I wanted. Those things go in tandem, and it really made a difference. It took all the stress out of streaming, and it actually produced real results. So when someone comes to me and says, how do you do this? I go, this is the most important thing I ever learned. Not that there isn't other stuff, but for me personally, it was the game changer.
Yeah.
And that's what I would say,
This is a good point.
Out.
You don't want to be 50 viewers into people you don't want to hang out with.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing to think about from a marketing standpoint, because it goes to Like you're marketing yourself, right? And you are the product. And normally when you have a product, you have to consider what your target audience is and you have to tailor it to the target audience. But because you're your own product, your target audience is just people you like.
Yeah. Skelly, if you need to go, thank you for being here. But
Yeah,
a
no,
comment
I do.
earlier, thank you.
I just wanted to hear what their responses were to that. But yeah, I'm about to head out.
I think I told you
Yeah.
we had this conversation before, so this isn't going to be new to you. But
No.
I made this mistake where I played really dumb on stream, because I dumbed myself down big time, and I thought that's who I needed to be a streamer, I guess. And I would drop hints that I knew things. I would make jokes, but they were so deep and meta and weird that you would have to really like be on the same. You'd have to be in my head to get the joke, and so that made me like both like dumb looking and weird at the same time. It was to the point where when people would get to know me like through Discord or something, they would be like, "Wow, you're not as dumb as you seem on stream." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, maybe this is a bad idea. I don't know." But and I got into a bad habit of being like that dumb version of me, and yeah. So
I think if you be your best self on stream, the self that makes you the happiest, people automatically pick up on that, and it makes them enjoy you more.
yeah,
Right? When you are the
Yeah.
best you.
yeah, that's true.
That's the best way to put it. Yeah, your best self.
Yeah, I didn't like myself very much at that point, so that explains why I was trying to not be myself too.
And you know what? I think that's probably like the second sort of flowing off of that about being your best self, because we've talked about this. Sonny, you and I've talked about this a lot. You know, due to my life situation, I struggle a lot with energy levels and a lot of things like that. But recently, I got to start playing a game that I truly, truly love. You know, it's really near and dear to my heart. And I went back and I looked at all my VODs of me playing it, and I was like, man, it's like the soul has returned to my eyes. You know,
People can tell.
And you see it in chat. You see it in people. I see it in the comments of people who talk in my Discord. Instantly, there is a change that when you are your happiest, when you are your best self on stream, people notice it.
Which
And when
requires
aren't-
you to focus on who you are off stream, which is
exactly.
this is a massive topic, and it's one of the ones that I feel apprehensive about talking about because it's basically like a weird life coaching situation.
I was gonna say it leans into like motivational territory, right?
It's like therapy, like the therapy
Yeah.
all streamers, everyone needs, not just streamers, but especially streamers, because who we are on stream is the person you're off stream you bring to the stream, and you don't want to. It's not a like okay, yes, you need confidence and stuff like that, but you also need to kind of feel good about yourself, and this is a space of influence. You become an influencer because that's just the nature of it. And this is true for like just relationships in general. Your friends influence you. When you have a relationship, when you're close with someone, you start to talk the same, you laugh the same, you have this similar thoughts without even talking to each other or saying things out loud. That all of who you are, it's tied so directly to this stuff, and so. I find that the people who tend to take care of themselves off stream, like go for a walk and eat healthy and sleep enough, really take care of themselves, they're the people that don't run into these like weird situations where they're like, I don't know what I'm doing with my stream. Even like giant partnered streamers will run into these things where they just don't feel good about themselves anymore, and they're not sure, and they need a break, and they need to, like, you don't need to do any of that stuff if you work on yourself outside of the stream, if you exercise, if you eat right, if you take care of yourself in a way that version of you're happier with who you are. I know for me, I have to walk, I have to eat healthy, and I have to play music. I have to be writing music. If I don't do that stuff, I just don't find my balance in life. I'm not able to just come, because I don't feel good about who I've been and who I'm being, and I know I'm just gonna be, if I just play League of Legends all the time, I'm not going to be I'm never going to work on music, and I'm never going to go for that walk, and I'm just going to get fast food so I can get back real quick and eat and as quickly as possible and play the game. And it's just, you need to be really, you want to find the healthiest version of yourself outside of the stream so that when you're on stream, number one, you feel good about who you are being in front of other people, right? So when people come in and they're down on themselves, you can be like, hey, you know, just take care of yourself. And you're doing that. You don't feel hypocritical
Yeah.
about
Or
encouraging someone to feel good, you know?
Or you can even come from a place of like having been there too, which is also useful. Because like for me, I tell people a lot that streaming is the best thing that I've ever done for myself, because I did start taking care of myself better, just have more energy on stream to put on a better show. It just became a cyclical thing that just made sense for me to do, because like I wouldn't just do it for myself to feel good, because fuck me, who cares about me? But for the show, for the viewers, let's do it.
How you feel
And,
about yourself is so important. It really is.
Exactly. And the reason I got into motivational content is because I got really into Devin Nash videos for streaming, and he was into motivational content, and he came from a place of being a shitty League of Legends player who played like 16 hours a day and went through that thing of like, I need to fix stuff.
By Skelly.
So coming from him, from a place where like I've been there, it made sense to me to be like, oh, that's a smart thing to do. So you can actually do that for people who relate to you in your channel too. You can be like a positive force on the world.
You're going to have an influence on people, and it's not just it's just not just your one friend in this situation. If you want to have a stream with hundreds of people watching you, you're going to be an influence on all those people. So yeah, you want to really like try to, for your own sake as well. We all have to, you can't control aging, but you can to a degree if you take care of yourself. If you eat right and you exercise, and man, the food thing is a whole other topic. I don't want to get into it too much, but pretty much everyone could agree that there's way too much crap in our food, and it's too easy to eat crap, and all that stuff will kill you. It will kill you, and it'll kill you as fast as smoking cigarettes and all that other stuff. You know, it's really, you want to, you first of all, you need to figure out for yourself what food should be for you, because you got to eat for the rest of your life. And you know, this isn't a small thing. This is, too many people just kind of act like, well, everyone else eats this way, so it should be fine for me to eat this way too. But just look at the old people; they're not healthy. And I would be very careful moving forward. We've got a lot of poisons and toxic chemicals and weird things in our diet that we didn't eat. We never ate that stuff. I'm more of like a whole foods person. Don't eat crap, but you know, if you can help it. Yeah. I'm not dead inside. Yeah. So health is really important, and you have to figure that out for yourself. I mean, that's a whole other topic, but it's also very tied to this mental health. Your mental health, people don't realize it, but what you eat is directly tied to how you feel. And so you need to figure this out, and you need to do it before it's too late. You don't want to be me and just struggle your whole life and then get really sick, and just, it's not a good idea. You know, this is fine.
It's interesting. Everything's like tied together, and it's like, yeah, it's very important to like figure out yourself to become the best version of yourself, because like I know I'll have days where like what I need to do is work really hard on stuff, and like I need to do a lot of producing stuff that day for myself. And then there's other days where I'm like, I need to just eat an edible and just veg out and play Sea of Thieves and just like reset so that I'm ready to go the next day. But those days both like have to exist in balance, or like I won't work overall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Taking care of yourself off stream is the thing that will have the largest impact on your stream. Because you'll feel good about what you're doing. You'll feel good about yourself. Making progress out. I find that if you can set realistic goals for yourself and make progress to better yourself outside of the stream becomes less important. How it's doing, how many viewers, you just have a better time being there, and if you, the less you can tie your emotions to how well the stream is doing, and just care more about how well your life is in general, how healthy you are, how much energy you have, getting rid of the toxic areas of your life.
Yeah, becoming unattached to the numbers. The numbers are so brutal.
Yeah, it is a thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, like, yeah. There's someone I talk to like every stream. If there's like a 5 viewer difference, they'll be like, "Oh God, this stream was terrible," and it's like maybe 5 people had to do groceries that day, or like 5 people had something come up that day. You can't tell why you're fluctuating in viewers like day to day.
Yeah. If anybody else in IQ wants to join in on this conversation, just go ahead and jump in the IQ Live channel and hang out with us. We can. I'm sure that other people have stuff that they could contribute to this conversation for sure. And if anybody wants, we started the stream with a channel review, going over ElijahBlackMoon's channel. If you guys would like a channel review of your own content, your own stream, go ahead and let me know. You can message me, or best thing to do is message me through Discord. So. And if you're interested in joining IQ, visit infinitequality.live. I don't know why the bot hasn't been shouting out all the stuff that I set up, but it's broken today, I guess. What's that?
We just talk.
Oh, hello. Yes. Hello.
Welcome in
streamer
new
mode.
people.
Let's see. Who do we got? Who just joined? Introduce
believe
yourself. Don't be just a floating voice in the void.
Hello, it's me. You know me.
I know you, but does everybody else know you? No. Do you want me to
Alright,
introduce
that's the
you?
name. I've seen the Discord.
Well, I mean, chat
Obviously.
live people watching the stream right now are like, what?
No, obviously they know me. No, I'm Magic, P-Day, and I'm from Germany, and I play video games.
Yes, you do. Man, wow, what a weird thing. There's almost no one that plays video games.
I also write
I'm the one.
about. I also write about video games. I'm a lich on Twitch, and I run a crypt, and also do emote arts and stuff. And yeah,
Hey, yeah. And then we also got TheCornishKnight.
Yes. Hello, I'm TheCornishKnight. How's it going?
I'm just gonna turn you up a touch in Discord, hopefully.
Okay.
So yeah, you guys chat amongst yourself real quick. I actually have to use the bathroom.
That reminded me of a Twitter post was saying I play video games. Reminded me of a Twitter post saying like if you're a streamer, you should have an elevator pitch for your stream, and it shouldn't include I'm bad at video games. And I was like, well, I feel attacked now.
honestly, mood.
Yeah.
I feel like your elevated Twitch should also not include variety streamer, because isn't that just everyone?
No, it's not. We're in like a bubble here. Yeah, variety streamer.
Yeah.
I don't know what variety streamer means specifically, because like to me it just means I play different video games.
Play more than one.
Yeah, but there's definitely people that like. There's like, I'd argue the majority of Twitch isn't variety streamers, right? Like variety streaming is actually really hard to do.
Yeah, probably.
Can I browse just by?
I think when it comes to variety streaming on, like variety game streaming on Twitch, I feel like it has to encompass kind of like a large like umbrella, I guess, of different genres.
Yeah.
When it comes to variety gaming, so like 1 week, like for a couple of weeks, you might do a strategy game. Then for the next couple of weeks, you might do an RPG. Then followed by a simulation, followed by a first-person shooter, followed by something else. You know.
Yeah, true. I didn't think of it that way. Yeah, that makes because if you can niche yourself down by genre, that definitely helps.
Yeah, like I think when I first started streaming, I labeled myself as a variety streamer, but my focus is on strategy, simulation, and roleplay games.
That's perfectly fine. Honestly, it's perfectly fine to be to focus on something, or just one genre or just one franchise. You could still do variety, I guess. And yeah, what I wanted to jump in on was actually the discussion about dropping in views. I feel like if people just worry too much about views, people notice, and then they don't watch.
Oh yeah, no, I tell everyone, anytime someone's just like, hey, do you have any tip for streaming? I'm like, turn off your viewer numbers, do it right now, do it while I'm watching.
Exactly.
I will come over to your house and do it for you. I don't care. Because
Exactly.
That was probably one of the biggest things that I noticed. Like after I hit affiliate, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be partner in like 6 months because I had that kind of unbridled enthusiasm that you do when you first start. So,
I still set unrealistic goals. I don't like. I know Sunny was talking about how you need to set realistic goals, but I think I'd rather strive and fail at unrealistic ones than just have like, I want to get like 50 viewers this month or like whatever it could be.
Okay, let's talk about. Well, this is kind of an interesting. This topic is actually our first topic for the podcast next Wednesday.
Spoiler.
So, but that's fine. We can talk about it now too, because it's going to be a different group of people. And, but yeah, goals and expectations. You kind of have to have two levels, right? First of all, bye Ober. Your goals need to be you need long-term realistic goals, but they also need to be stuff that you strive for, stuff that's slightly out of reach, or maybe even impossible, but you have to have a path that is possible, at least that lets you see yourself get close, as close as possible. So you want to set up, and you need to give yourself the proper amount of time. I think we talked about this a little bit before, but you give yourself the proper amount of time to actually execute the plan properly. So if partnership is the goal, or being a big streamer is the goal, you need to see an executable path that will get you there, but also realize that is going to be incredibly hard to work for. It's not just going to happen on its own. So the goal thing is like really balancing that is important, and I think it is a good idea to have. Maybe I want to make sure I'm not being confused about. I do want you to have realistic expectations about your stream, but I also want you to have a desire to go way beyond that, and so that's a part of the goal, is that you'd like to be this big success, and you need a path to do that. It's like a mix of realistic and unrealistic.
So basically have a goal, but also have a dream.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good way to do it.
See?
Yeah,
That's a good way of putting it.
dream big. Yeah, big dreams.
Yeah, dream big and also set your goals realistically, but do it so that it doesn't depend on on other people. A follower goal is it's all right, but
It's
it
too
depends on
small.
other people clicking a button.
I like goals that are more controllable, especially for this space, because you can't really control your Like you can
Exactly.
do things to improve it, but you're basically gambling for followers, views,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Exactly.
So
Nobody
I'd rather
cares about
do
followers.
exactly. Well, you should care, but what I mean more is I'd rather have goals based on stuff I can control, like content goals.
I
Can I
agree.
put out 3 videos a week? Can I do 2 streams? Can I have topics prepared for those 2 streams?
And more than just like
That
for the
kind of thing.
moment too, like not 3, because then you do 3 videos and then you got your goal. What you need is like, can I do 3 videos a week on YouTube for a year or 2 years? Because what you want to see is what happens when you do that. That's the real. You have to see. Okay, I think I know what will happen if I do this, but I want to see what really will happen if I do this. So let's try it.
Definitely, yeah.
And you have to give things enough time to work. People will. I've had people message me and they're like, "Man, I've done the things you said. It's been like a week," and they're
I'm
like,
so bad for that.
and I changed this stuff and it hasn't really done that much. And then I'm go to Solinome with them and I'm like, well, you have more chatters, you have more viewers. It's not 50 viewers, but it's 3 new viewers. And are you having a good time? Yeah. Okay. So you're focused on it didn't work, but it's been a week. Keep going. Do this for 2 months. Do it for a year, and then make a decision. You really need 90 days minimum to look at a trend. You can't just.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, Devin, is that from the Devin Nash videos recently? Because he's been preaching that his last like.
Well, that's
videos.
just pretty well known for
Yeah.
marketing and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was saying like you can only look at stats from 90 days minimum.
You need a saturation point that makes sense.
Devin Nash.
He's like a high level marketer guy who does he has a E Star agency, like he
works with
has-
Twitch streamers. He's got an agency that works with Twitch
exactly.
streamers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can one of you just link it to me in the DM? Thank you.
I will
Like,
definitely I will link you him.
I think I'm missing just that. But yeah, I feel like, it's one of those things. Have a goal that you want to achieve, be it something like be the best engaged,
Well-
be engaging, or be your best possible self, or something like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, that one's important. That was what we were talking about earlier. But I also like one of my goals for my stream like a realistic thing you can try to attach is have a good quality stream experience. Meaning, the audio is good, the audio is the best I could possibly get it, reasonably speaking. The video is the best I could possibly get it, reasonably speaking. These are some of the things that IQ is like directly built around, is like how to get these things without breaking the bank, and how to set up OBS and things like that, so that you can get the most of it. How many people are just using their camera with default settings, and they have no idea they could have like this fantastic picture out of their camera just by changing some stuff in OBS and camera settings. That's why I made the camera setting YouTube video, because like you can do more with what you have. You don't have to spend extra money. You need to spend time trying to, make your stream have a higher quality, especially it's such a competitive thing that you're doing in streaming. You need to be able to stand out as much as possible. And if your stream looks just as potato as the next stream, good luck. If it sounds bad, good luck, And that you stream that way for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and you didn't spend an hour trying to fix it, and then you're just gonna be frustrated that nobody's watching. This is not the way forward. You got to put the time in. And there's always more. There's always stuff you can eke out, and Twitch is always changing, and OBS is always updating. So
Yeah, it's a constant game of like learning and just like churning out content.
yeah,
Because like the goal like isn't ever to stream forever. Well, like it is to stream forever, but not to try as hard at streaming forever. Because like
yeah, you got to put the work in.
Probably,
Yeah,
100%. But like at a certain point, it'll probably be like, this is now just a hobby because like I'm old and I don't want to work that hard at anything anymore.
it depends. It depends.
At some point, your goal is to get a phylactery, put all your followers' souls into that phylactery, and just stream on forever.
Yeah, exactly. Become a streaming lich.
Literally
That's a
become
me.
Yes.
Yeah, but like, I feel like that's especially something that a lot of people struggle with. They have these expectations and they don't achieve them, so they burn out, or they blame
Yep.
booby streamers that steal their viewers, or something like that, something stupid like that. It's just
Yeah.
that mentality that happens. They go into streaming Fortnite or whatever, and then have no viewers, and then they rage or whatever. And
Yeah, and then what have they
that's-
done to change anything on their stream in the past week? And
Nothing.
And then at the same time, let's say you did put a bunch of work in, you still have to give it more than a week or a weekend. And this is actually really important. You're gonna fluctuate. Your stream is going to fluctuate, always. You're gonna have X amount of viewers, and then that's gonna get cut in half one day, or when you change something, or it's always going to be moving. You have to be okay with that ebb and flow of viewership. And like, it is better to just turn the viewer count off. I'm not looking at it. I'm just hanging out with you guys and reading chat. And I don't think the amount you shouldn't tie yourself to the viewers. You shouldn't tie your worth, your value, to how it's being received. You should tie it to how well you're executing it. And
Yep.
you can always do better, and you're not going to do better unless you start seeing looking at it from the right perspective, so that you can figure out what to improve. If you're just looking at the numbers, you're just going to be like, what am I doing wrong? What? And it's not helpful. It's not a helpful headspace. It doesn't get you anywhere.
The first step should be like looking at the stuff you're putting out and being like, am I proud of this? Is this the best content I can put out? Would I watch this myself?
That's it.
And then the second part is figuring out how to get it in front of eyes. And most people like barely do both. I remember like I always think of the thing of like people, because people love to just be like, don't be a streamer because only like 0.01% of people like make it or whatever. And then I'm like, yeah, but like 95% aren't even trying. Like, it's just
Honestly,
what it is.
But that
I
like
think
0.
it's just-
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. With the whole like less than 1% of people who actually make it, that's the same with any sort of potential hobby that you might make into a career sort of thing. I mean, there are people who I know people who do like metalworking. They do it as a hobby. They sell like the occasional bits and pieces here sort of thing. They'd love to make it their hobby, but it's still going to take time and effort and whatnot in order to get them, in order to take it from maybe 1 or 2 pieces a month to 3 or 4 pieces a day sort of thing. And the same could be applied to content creation.
Oh, for sure. There's a huge difference between like people want to hobby do it and want to like try to full-time do it.
Yeah, and if you're gonna just have a hobby, just have a hobby. That's fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Just be a hobbyist. It's no big deal. But if you want to make this your career, your profession, you're gonna have to approach it properly. You can't just expect it to work and for it to be good. Too many people just like think, I'll just stream. I'll be a good streamer, and that's enough. I don't think being you never have a job that's that simple ever. Like
true.
Actors don't just study the script and do the acting. They also have to go and do publicity stuff. They have to go do interviews. They have to do tons and tons of prep work on their body and their health. They
have to take sketchy jobs as well, or pay off people and all of that. They also have to take other jobs because the first few gigs don't pay well.
Right. There's always something that's difficult or uncomfortable about making any career work. If you want to open a bakery, you're gonna have to clean the thing. You're gonna have to, make recipes and do a bunch of stuff that isn't just baking. You have to get the internet installed in the place. There's so many things that are just not the baking and or selling the good involved in businesses. If you want to be
it's the logistics around it as well that you've also got to learn and master.
Yeah, bookkeeping. You got to learn a point of sale system. A job is never just one thing, and being a streamer is not just turning on your stream and hanging out. People think it is, and it's just not. What?
I think there's a lot of entitlement. I think that's what it is, really, more than anything. I think that's more like a cultural issue, honestly.
And it's funny because I felt entitled when I first started streaming because I'm really good at production. I have a degree in production. I've done years of video and audio production, music, and things like that. I know lighting and cameras and all this stuff. And so I'm like, this is perfect for me. This is my space. I deserve. But my channel didn't have more than 15 viewers regularly. Like a lot of times it had 3 or 4. Like just because you maybe think, well, I would be good at this, that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. That doesn't mean if you open a bakery, people aren't going to walk in just because you opened it. You have to do a lot more, and you got to approach it properly. Streaming is so difficult, and if you don't have the proper mindset to chase this dream, go after this career, and you're not going to be just a streamer. You're gonna have to do YouTube videos. You're gonna have to do Twitter. You're gonna have to do other social media platforms. Maybe in the beginning it was a space where you could just do Twitch and just be live. It's not. It's evolved way beyond that. It's always going to be more than that at this point.
Well, except when it comes to social media, just don't try to do it on Facebook unless you have infinite amounts of money.
We talked
to
about
pay
this
them.
last week. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't need to pay for marketing as a streamer. You just need to put out content where people can find it on things that people will watch.
Marketing's
Yeah.
free.
Yeah, just do YouTube. I think YouTube's probably the most important platform.
YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. There's so many. Just all of them. Just do it.
Yeah, and don't expect it to work overnight.
Yeah,
I once
that too,
encountered this person that really believed that you have to pay money to get viewers on Twitch.
Mono made a good point here about being critical about yourself properly. So I think a lot of streamers have a hard time seeing any stream and even their own stream like as a viewer. They don't.
Yes.
They have a hard time putting themselves in the viewer's seat and thinking, why would someone watch this? They just think I'm great. Look at me, I'm great. Oh, look how I look. I look cute, or I have a bubbly personality, or that was really funny. Oh, or they're like, I'm really good at this game, and these are not the things that actually viewers care about. They're really not. Everybody says, "Oh, just be a funny streamer or have a good personality." There's value there, but that's not what connects you to a brand new person. A brand new person doesn't know you. You don't walk up to brand new people and tell jokes to get to know them, right? Like,
You don't?
no, you don't. we tend to want to do this in Discord, and you know how many people have come in if they act that way, and I meet them in Discord or something, and it's just kind of cringy. They come off like they're trying so hard, and they're trying to be funny, or they're trying to be something that's just like, just chill, dude. We're all cool. We're all cool here. Just hang out.
Yeah.
You don't have to try so hard. And a lot of streamers are also trying too hard, way too hard, and it's off-putting for new viewers. You got to tone it back a bit, Trying hard is not. It's usually cringe, right? When is trying hard? Trying hard is not cringe if you're performing or speed running or doing something that requires you to have that much energy and focus. It's when you're just trying to manufacture this presence
In a persona or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, put it VTube. Get a character and do it. The joke of Dr. Disrespect. Now the stream is banned. Is that he was trying so hard, but it was a character, so it fit. When it's when it's you, it's not as good.
So I think it's fine if you want to play a character. I think the issue is that too many people that do that. I know there's a guy that every Discord he's a part of, he's got a huge pirate Brandon. I promise I'm not talking about myself in the third person right now, by the way. There's this other guy I know who has this huge pirate Brandon, and he talks like a pirate in every Discord he's a part of. And he every message he sends, he's like, "Ahoy, mateys," blah blah, and it's the cringiest thing. And I think the issue is that because it's a semi-professional setting, I want you to talk just as yourself when you're in Discord. If I go to your stream and you're acting like a pirate and acting up, that's great. I love that. And even if it's cringe, you'll get better at it because you're putting on a show. But it's the being aware of the space you're in, I think, is the issue with it.
Yeah. A lot of streamers who need to hear this are probably not going to respond well to this kind of advice. That's another thing I have a hard time with here, is that streaming is a brand new thing, right? It's a brand new space. It's very undiscovered, but but too many streamers act like they know everything and they know it all, and they're not willing to take advice. That's one of the reasons why IQ's application process is so lengthy, is that we know that a lot of streamers are not going to be people that are going to be willing to have these conversations. They're not going to be willing. They don't want you to tell them what's wrong with their stream or what they're doing wrong. They're not going to react well to being told, this thing you're doing isn't working. They want
yes, man.
Yes, that's exactly what they want. They want to be told, you're great. And they have the 3 or 4 people in the chat that do that and reinforce what's not working about their channel. And they're just like, well, my community, they have 5 viewers, and they're like, my community loves this. And this is what I was talking about last week, is taking advice from your friends, or your 5 viewers, is that they may be reinforcing content that's not ever going to grow. I had that happen.
Yeah.
I was having that on my channel. So
I was part of a small streamer Discord that had that issue. It was the most, like, I know like 90% of small streamer Discords are just like super dead and nothing happens. This was the most active one I've ever seen, where like all of them would always end up in all of each other's streams, but they were just so bad. Like they would go into like the worst streams I've seen on Twitch and just be like, you're doing great. We love you. It's awesome. And I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, you're ruining this person's Twitch.
To me, that's like reverse. Like, it's like reverse trolling or something. It's like,
yeah, exactly. It's like, please stop. And they're all just doing it so that person comes to their stream. And it was so toxic. That, like,
it has not like.
I think I know a similar community where it was just that whole thing with. I don't know, you would rate one of those people because you think, oh, this person helped me, gave me advice and stuff, And you think like, okay, cool, I'm going to rate this person. And he just doesn't notice after 10 minutes that they've been rated. So we basically started up a stream again and rated someone else. And they got mad at me, but at the same time,
and small streamers, and I'm talking about like less than 100 viewers, and you're like, putting up a poll, like Mono's saying, and you're like, what game should I play? You've got,
oh my god,
20 people vote and say you should play this game, and it's like, yeah, we're playing this game now. And all you're doing is like taking the entire responsibility of decision making off of yourself, and now you've like given your stream over to this like abstract concept that isn't. It's not the thing that should be making decisions for how to grow your stream. That abstract concept should not be in charge of your stream. That one kills me.
I used to do that, and I think my issue with it, or why I stopped doing it, was mostly that when you have, when you have 10 viewers, and you vote on the game to play, and 4 people want you to play The Binding of Isaac, and 5 people want you to play Terraria, and you don't play Terraria, or something like that, I don't know.
And the 4 Binding of Isaac people leave?
They leave, yeah, because you gave them the choice, and you didn't do what they want,
Yeah, yeah, that's
At least
true.
I would do that.
Yeah, and then all 9 don't show up anyway. Yeah. Mono nailed that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So if you gave me the choice of going, okay, I'm gonna give you the choice here. We're gonna vote here on where we're gonna go. So one is we're gonna go to that pizza place that you didn't like, or we go to that pizza place that you did like, and then everyone votes, and you go to the place that you didn't like. Well, obviously, I'm gonna bail.
Yeah, this is. It's not a good way. It's not a good way.
And that goes well as like having a plan, right? Like you want people not to show up and have to like make choices. You just want them to show up and just sit and just enjoy the experience.
So let's talk about this. Like, how many of you guys watch streams regularly, and how often?
All the time, a lot, like almost all day, every day.
This is
like too much. It became a problem. I had to cut back.
Lately, less because of mental health reasons, but
I think it's a good idea to watch streams. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think you're supposed to watch. I think you're supposed to watch streams, even if it's only for a few minutes here and there. So, what's the reason you guys watch a stream?
Personality of the streamer and community.
to not feel lonely while I eat food.
So when I go visit a stream, like, And
I just
like,
I,
if I'm not
I
lurking,
love Magi's answer to that.
what's that?
What do you say?
I love Magi's answer to that. To not feel lonely while I eat food.
Yeah, yeah.
That's-
I
Yeah.
mean, it's mostly, I'm there, I need something in my background, and I like people's voices and conversations and personalities while I eat food, while I work out.
Yeah,
Even while I'm
that's why I
out and
have a
about.
stream on. But then, yeah, I lurk like crazy.
Yeah, I'm the super lurker.
I almost always have 3 streams open. If my computer's on, I don't have them on. I'm not right now because I don't want to mess with the stream and the bandwidth and stuff.
Hey, I lurk while I stream as well.
I have 3 streams open. If my computer's on, I wake up, I have breakfast, and I turn my computer on. And my computer's hooked up to my TV, and that's what I do. So most of the time, I lurk. 90% of what I do is lurk. In fact, if you see me say something in chat, that's a rare moment for me. I'm not a big chatter. Even with my clients, I'll like do a sub or something once in a while, and that's it, and like say hi or whatever. And if I do talk, it's because I need to talk to you for some reason. There are a few exceptions of some streams where I will come in and say hi and like talk for a little bit, but for me, and I think this is true for a lot of people, is that if they're going to sit there and type in the chat, they're ready to talk to you. They're ready to engage with you and hang out with you.
Yeah.
And they like you. They don't give a shit about what game you're playing. Maybe they're excited because you're playing something for the first time that's their favorite. Like when people play Bayonetta, I get real excited. Or if people play Alien Isolation for the first time, I get real excited. And I'm more likely to watch those kinds of streams for a little while. But for me, it's more just like I want to hang out with this person for a moment and say hi and be like, oh, how's it going, and talk to you. And so a lot of streamers that do not watch other streams, they don't get this. And it puts them in a bad position for when new people come into the stream. That's why they miss the chat and they don't say hi, and they don't get this aspect of streaming because they're not ever a viewer. They're not viewing streams. They have no idea what it's like to be a viewer, and they don't know why people interact and talk with streams. I think you, as a streamer, one of the things you can do to benefit your stream specifically is go be a viewer. Go hang out and see why you like other streams. And also see what you don't like so that you don't do those things.
Exactly. I think it's important to not only watch other people, but also your own. Like, sit down with your VOD and play it in normal speed. Don't speed up. Don't skip ahead. Watch it, and you know what's going to happen. But, would you sit through it, or is it torture for you? And if it's torture for you, then you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, last week's Friday casual stream was the first time I streamed for a long time, and I've watched the YouTube version like all the way through, and it was probably the first stream where I was actually enjoying listening to it again. The whole thing, which tells me that this kind of content is probably the better kind of content for me to be making anyway. Whereas gaming stream, I would sit down and I'd try to watch my own gaming stream, and I would be enjoyable, but maybe not for the right reasons. It would be like I'm watching myself play Apex, and I'm really good at Apex, so I'm like kind of like stroking my own ego and feeling good about my gameplay and that kill, and oh, I can't believe that guy got me there, or whatever it is. Like I'm back in the stream moment, and I'm not watching the actual stream like a viewer. I'm watching like me play the game. So I think definitely you need to go. You don't have to watch your whole VODs. Just go. Skip through them. Make sure that. Make sure. I need to deny that for YouTube. Mono, I'm sorry. Type it without the language. So. Yeah, it's okay. what?
I'm sorry. I'm
Watch-
trying to watch my language too. I
Yeah.
hope I don't have too much for you to edit.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, I can leave them in for the most of the time, but I basically be your own critic, but you need to be able to step back from your content and not look at it like you were in the streaming moment. You got to look at it like with as fresh a perspective as possible.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's what I mean is basically by not skipping ahead. I mean something like you just watch for 2 seconds and then you skip ahead or something like that. But rather, watch like 5 minutes of it and see if you would still stick around or if you're gonna switch to a different stream or something. Because that's how I discover people personally. I try to. My motto when it comes to streaming is I want to create a stream that I would watch myself, and that's a stream where I can lurk. That's a stream where I can have fun, or when I have trouble, I can go there and ask for advice or something like that. That's basically a safe space, a lurker-friendly place. That's my kind of stream where it's fine if I don't chat.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
You just made me think of the thing that people like about streams is not things; it's people.
Exactly.
And which is in psychology, men are usually more interested in things, but I think that the things are actually in the streaming sense. They want to. This goes back to the earlier topic, where you don't be a boring person. People are interested in things, but they're interested in things through the relationship. That's why Twitch is unique, because you can have a conversation about things with the streamer, and you could talk about things with the stream and interact with the stream in that way in real time. And so now you're both interested in things. I think that's actually a key thing here. They're interested in things because of you. They want to be interested in things with you, which is why you don't want to reject straight up if somebody says, do you like Attack on Titan? And if you haven't seen it and you just say, I don't like anime, their interest in you is now gone.
Yeah.
So the connection, you need to be able to look at your stream objectively as like a viewer from all these different perspectives. It can't just be one-dimensional. Am I good at the game? Does my stream sound and look good? Hopefully you've got the sound and the look good part dealt with, and that's done. And you're just focusing on how interesting is it to hang out with me. One of the hardest things about this topic for me has been from the beginning. Do you guys ever ask people, like in your Discord or like people who watch your stream, why they like your stream and how you're doing, and you get like the most basic answer and non-helpful information that you've ever heard?
Yeah, I just don't ask it.
What was that?
Bland answer.
Say that again, CornishKnight. You guys talked over each other.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Sort of like if you just get like a generic and bland answer, it's like I've got nothing to work with here, in a way.
Asking is always a mistake, but you need
exactly.
to ask. That's the problem. Is we have this. We need the feedback. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this stream, and I'm doing the stream review section, because I know you guys need more of an objective approach to your content. That's just one of the things I do with my clients, is like help them look at their stream.
I would say even that's why I like IQ, because I want that real feedback, because I used to do stand-up comedy, and trying to ask another performer hey, how am I doing, it's just always you're doing great, kid, keep it up, and it's that doesn't help me at all.
Why? What do you like about my stream? What do you like about what I'm doing? What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? They have no answer. And the reason is because they like you. If they're a viewer already, they just like you.
True. Yeah, true.
What are they going to say that's bad? Sometimes if you make improvements, then there's enough of a contrast that you'll get direct feedback. Like if you go from a bad microphone and you're using this microphone for months, which you can't hear, and now you can hear it in Discord. You're on this microphone for months, and then you switch over to the better mic, and they're like, "Wow, you sound so much better now."
There's no
But you said it
difference.
sounded good before.
Wow, yeah,
Or there's
yeah.
no difference. Yeah,
I
that's
like,
even more
or yeah, like
frustrating.
you're like, "How's the new mic? Do I sound good?" And people are like, "I thought it sounded good before." Yeah.
It's the same picture.
Or,
Banned.
or,
No,
or-
don't ban those people.
I have a hard time with
But
this.
then again, I feel like a lot of times viewers have no clue what's going on in the stream, or they just don't
Oh,
pay attention.
100%.
You know, like I tried discovering like people, or like people suggest a raid target. I go to that person's stream and notice they have no game sound.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
nobody
yeah.
tells them that
Nobody
chat is
says
active
anything.
as hell.
I'm always
Nobody says anything.
I'm always the one it doesn't feel great to be like, "Hey, something's wrong with your stream," but the streamer always needs to
Yes.
know. And so I tell them because that's more important to me, even though it doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel great for me to be like, "Hey, your mic sucks." Like, I don't say it that way, but I come in and I'm like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm listening. Oh, this needs to change. Can you tweak this real quick?" So I think, man, the worst though is when I'll go into someone's stream and I'm like, "Hey, the game volume's a little bit loud, or your mic is a little bit quiet," and then someone else in the chat says, "Sounds fine to me."
Oh my
Yeah.
god. That's,
Every
oh my
time,
God.
without
You're
fail.
Honestly,
triggering me.
Without fail. Or I'll be like, "Hey, the game's a little bit dark. Can you put like a color correction filter
no, I'm not gonna do that.
on the capture card
Uh,
real quick to fix it?" And then somebody's like, "Looks fine to me," and you're just like,
You just want to yell at them. We get it. You like bad things.
I'm like, "Okay, but you realize that just because it looks okay to you doesn't mean that that's gonna be the right situation to attract the 5,000 people that this channel needs." Okay? Like, it's not just about you liking what you're seeing. It's about the 5,000 people that could possibly click on this stream right now and follow. And if they'll like it. I can't with there's
But what if they don't like the change?
it sounds fine to me. It looks fine to me. It's just
Like,
not
I don't like
helpful.
the
It's not
change.
helpful.
Well, it's kind of. I mean, there's something to
I-
that too, right? Like Tyler 1 could never get a good microphone because then he's just ruined.
Yeah, but that's a
Honestly-
choice, and
Yeah,
and
for
he's
sure.
actually dialed it in so that it's right.
Yeah.
It does have stuff going on that's not just a bad mic. He's got other things that make it work right.
Yeah, like his anger and the salt.
Yeah.
I noticed sometimes that there are a lot of streamers that actually don't want their voice to be louder than the game.
Yeah, and they don't want to monitor
And-
their own voice, which is a whole other thing.
And then you basically say the game is a bit loud, and then they say, "Well, I just want it like that," and then I feel awkward as a viewer.
Yeah,
And then I
Yeah.
go into the next stream and I see, "Oh, you have no game audio," and then that streamer and that one actually exists, and she's lovely and everything, but she doesn't like the game audio, so she doesn't have it.
right.
And I'm like, so that's intentional? And yeah. And okay, well,
Are you making the
yeah.
stream for you, or are you making it for everybody who's watching? Yeah, like
I mean,
this
you
is
can-
why I vouch for the soundboard setup, because you have full control over everything. I know exactly how my voice sounds compared to your guys' voice. There's no guessing. I'm not just
Exactly.
looking at the soundboard and OBS and like hoping my voice is like okay. Like I've had so many streamers where their mic's like way. I mean, that didn't change in Discord for you guys, but on stream I'm pretty quiet now. And they're like this, and then whoever's in Discord with them, go ahead, you guys talk to me about. Have you ever been to a stream where somebody in Discord is like super loud, and then the streamer themselves is like this?
I have the opposite.
I've
But
had
it's-
I've had both sides of it.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Or it's the opposite where the streamer's like this, and then you can't even hear the Discord. And yeah,
I don't. Do you mean like I don't have a soundboard? Should I be live monitoring myself on stream though?
yes,
I don't.
you can.
Oh my god.
Yes,
I don't want to hear my own voice. in my head.
Okay, so you need to get over this as quickly as possible, because in this industry you have to be able to hear your own voice. And on top of
Yeah.
that, it helps you perform. Everyone I've ever talked to that said has your objection that I don't want to hear my own voice. As soon as they start doing it, they notice the benefit in their stream. Eat Your Meats, she could go on about this because she was one of the people that was like, I don't want to hear my own voice. It'll be weird. I don't. And then I made her do it anyway because she had to get a soundboard. She's like, yeah, it's a big difference. It's massive because she knows she can get up on the mic and talk like this, and you know exactly what you sound like. You can play with the microphone more. You can play with your audience more, and you take your headphones off. You hear your voice anyway. You hear your voice.
It's different.
Your ears
though.
hear
like,
your voice. It's not different. It's not different. It's not. It's not different. It's not.
I mean, you hear yourself in your head, and then you suddenly also hear your outside voice on top of that in your head, and then. But it's
not. No, it's
So
not delayed.
what-
With the Q2U, you can plug your headphones directly into the microphone, and it is not delayed at all. There's zero delay.
But not everyone has a Q2U.
And if you use a soundboard, everyone should get a Q2U minimum. It's the
So I have
simplest
the
investment
Q2U.
you can make for your stream.
If I plug directly into the microphone, though, can I hear what's going on in the stream?
You
Like,
you just use it as your default sound card.
Oh, I need
what-
to. Okay, I need to. We don't need to talk about this now, but I need to figure this out.
You
Okay.
plug your headphones
I
into the
will-
microphone. There's. I'm gonna make a video on this. Actually, so the next video is the Q2U
Okay.
setup because there's
I'll keep
one
an eye for
piece
that.
of equipment the Q2U needs in order for it to work correctly for a streamer. The monitoring is not great unless you use an inline volume control. Well, I'll go over this in the video, but basically you need a way to adjust the volume down on your headphones, like on the cable, like a little volume thing. Once you have that, you can set it up perfectly for OBS so that all your
I
settings.
kind of have that on my headphones already. I've got these Razer headphones that has the thing like halfway down.
Yeah, if you have a volume control, then you're good to go. That's all you need, and you can get them for like $6-7 off Amazon. So
if
if you don't
if
have
I
one.
were to turn on a monitor, would I go into the advanced audio properties, into the mic settings, and then just go monitor?
No, if you do
only
that,
and
it'll be
mute
delayed.
output?
No, you need equipment that
Okay.
has it built in properly. Like a soundboard, I'm
Nice.
listening to the entire mix. So if I turn the music up, it turns up in my headphones exactly the way it turns up on the stream. If you guys are a little bit too quiet, I can turn you up. I can mess with me just directly on the stream with the slider, and I'm hearing 1-to-1 what the stream is hearing, and that's actually really important because you don't have a sound guy. You're the sound guy. Imagine trying to use OBS with the preview off and changing scenes and making sure you look good on camera and stuff. Turn your OBS preview off. Do it blind. That's what you're doing when you don't monitor your sound. You're trying. Imagine you were trying to use OBS through audio cues to change scenes, so you know what scene you're on because a certain noise happens when you do it. It just doesn't. That's not what you want to do. You want to look at the preview, the OBS preview, and see your stream in real time. You need to hear your stream in real time too, and you got to get used to hearing your own voice. And if here's what I say to people who say they can't stand the sound of their, they can't stand hearing their own voice. Well, then why would you expect hundreds of other people to listen to your own voice for hours on end? If you're not willing to do it for 3 hours, why would you expect anyone else to listen to you?
Honestly,
You're not even willing to listen to your own voice.
I think it's less about.
I hate my own
the
voice, so.
You don't hate your own voice. Don't hate your face. Fall in love with yourself. It's okay.
Yeah, love yourself.
And you
And
hear
if you
yourself
don't-
anyway. You
Right.
have ears.
If you don't love yourself, just love me who's loving you.
If you take your headphones off, you hear your own voice. It's not that
I
different.
will
It's
will
not the same,
definitely
though.
do the once I can get it without delay. I'll definitely do the listen to myself because it makes perfect sense what you're saying, to being able to play with like how you're sounding and whatnot.
See,
I get
Hylian
that
said it in the
completely.
chat. I set him up with a soundboard earlier
Yeah.
this year, and it is 100% different. Your voice, you used to hearing your voice through your ears anyway. Hearing it through the microphone, if it's set up right and it's a good mic, it shouldn't bother you. It should be zero. It shouldn't bother you at all.
Well, this is
Yeah,
definitely something I'm gonna have to take extra note of, because audio has been my biggest Achilles heel in terms of me trying to get stuff set up.
If you want it to be simple, just grab a Q2U.
I do now have a QTU. I bought that recently.
Yeah, and get it up on an arm so that it's like close to you, so that you can hear yourself pointed at your neck, pointed at your chin. And I mean, I have one too.
You have a neck?
Yeah, I have a neck. I have a Q2U. So I bought one so that I could figure out exactly how to set it up perfectly for streaming, because I have a lot of people that use it, and I think it's actually the best starting. You could use it forever. You don't ever have to get a soundboard. I think if you're going to be streaming regularly full time and it's like a career thing, you need a soundboard. And you want the best experience possible for your audience. You got to go this route, because then you know exactly what the stream sounds like. There's literally no guessing. There's still a little bit of guessing with the Q2U, but you can get it set up so that it's not as bad as it should be. But this, I mean, it's just 1-to-1, and you can just turn things up and down really easily. Like I've been messing with it the whole time we've been live, because sometimes one of you is a little bit louder, sometimes a little bit quieter. Plus, it gives me EQ built right in, so I can just, like, if one of your mics sounds a little bit too bassy, I just roll the bass down, and we're good. So it's a handy tool, and you don't have to be as complicated as I am. You could just, like, set it and forget it. I have not a simple setup going on here. I've got a headphone amp going to a mobile recorder to just get the voices recorded, to speakers, to 2 sets of headphones, and I've got an preamp for recording microphones for audio production, which also goes into the soundboard. It's all over the place. You guys don't have to be that crazy about it. So, thanks for joining us, RedBeard. We're actually going to wrap it up here in a bit. So, because I have to eat dinner. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us. I'm going to make that video next, the Q2U video. So if you guys need it, be on the lookout for that, how to set that up. And if you guys want any advice on soundboards and stuff like that, you can always hit me up. So thank you guys for joining us today. If you guys are interested in IQ, if you're not a member of IQ, you can apply through the website, infinitequality.live. Check out the YouTube videos, the YouTube channel. This VOD will also be edited and thrown up on the YouTube channel, and the podcast starts next Wednesday. We're going to be talking with Hylian Pickles, Eat Your Meats, and Snazzy Bastard about setting proper goals and dealing with your stream from that perspective. There's going to be a new podcast every Wednesday. Every Friday, we're going to try and do these just chatting streams. And Sundays next month, we're going to be starting the art streams, where you guys can give us live feedback about what kind of graphics you would like to see to be able to download off the members site. And then you guys can chat with the artists. So look forward to that. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I hope to see many of you in the future. If in voice, if you were just in chat, you can always come into the IQ Live channel while we're doing this and hang out and talk with us. And appreciate everybody, Skeleton Man, ElijahBlackMoon, MagiWasTaken, TheCornishKnight, RedBeard, Unleashed. You guys are all great. And Oberlinx was here for a bit too. So I really appreciate everybody. And everybody in chat. You guys, we if you felt ignored or like we didn't read the chat, we maybe we missed it, or maybe we were just, you gave us a thought that helped us talk about whatever we talked about today. So if you guys want a channel review for one of these streams where we go over your content, we go over your stream and get some critical feedback, just message me in Discord and I'll get you on the show. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate everybody. I will see you guys next Wednesday and Friday and Sunday. All right. Have a good one, everyone.
Do we raid?
No. This stream isn't about growing this stream. This is just about having content for the community and for us to all hang out and do stuff. No, I have raids turned off on this channel. This isn't about growing this channel. So
I was I was going to ask that because I finished my stream earlier today, and I was like, well, the stream team that I'm in, Infinite Quality, is live. I'll raid it, and the button on the Twitch dashboard thing was like, sorry, you can't be done at this time, sort of thing.
Yeah, I have raids.
Ah, right.
All that stuff's turned off. I don't even have alerts and stuff because this is not about this channel. This is about getting this stuff out there so that future members and current members can take part in these discussions and talk to each other, and maybe more people can discover us through YouTube and while we're live, things like that. So,
Oh, okay.
yep. Yeah, we're not trying to push this channel. This channel is probably never going to have affiliate or partner or anything like that. It's not about that. It's just about the community. So,
So more information and collaboration with information as opposed
yeah,
to...
it gives us all a chance to hang out and get things, talk about stuff, and figure things out. Grow the community and hang out with each other. That's what it's for. So, okay, thank you guys. Appreciate you.
No worries. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, for sure. Till next time.